in February we spent the whole month traveling to Egypt, and basically I can divide the trip into basically 3 or 4 segments. The first one is our trip in Cairo. The second one when we went to Alexandria to visit my high school, a school where you get taught Montessori, and then visit the beach and trying to figure out where our houses were when we lived there. Yes. And then the third trip is we took a trip to the Red Sea to see the canal and to see how the ships travel through. We were like 10 kilometers south of Suez. And then the fourth one is a family. We spent a weekend. Huguette has a cousin that has a farm, and we went to stay one night over there. So this is basically Egypt, and the north of Egypt is all the Mediterranean Sea. It's flanked by, on the south, it's Saudi Arabia, on the other side of the Red Sea. Between the two branches of the Red Sea, that's the Sinai, Israel has on the right leg, that's Eilat, that's the port, and that's how they get to the Red Sea. And basically Gaza, or whatever is left of Gaza now, is on the North Shore, and Israel is around it. So that's the map of, on the left side, that's Libya, and on the south of Egypt, there's Sudan. What happened? I don't know what happened. Where is my helper?
I'm here.
Okay, it seems like okay, here we go. So, having done that, I lost my picture here, that's right, everything went blank. The next one here, this, we traveled to Cairo from Washington, D.C. We felt we don't want to stop in Europe, we want to stop straight from the United States, straight into Cairo, and then returning, we chose to return through Munich back to Orlando. And that's one of the things that I will explain later on, why we did not want to do that. The first night we arrived there, we went on a barge on the Nile. Something similar to what you do when you go on the Bateau Rouge in France. You want to see multiple things all at the same time. So you want to eat dinner, you want to see the Nile, and then you want to see some show, some entertainment. So that's what we did. We went there. In the picture here is Huguette's nephew with his wife, and our 3 persons, our daughter, and the granddaughter and her husband, and they traveled with us. Okay, let me explain that a little bit. They don't want us, the kids don't want us to travel alone, not anymore. So one daughter with her husband and her daughter traveled with us one way. They stayed there 10 days, and then we stayed alone. And then on the return trip, 2 other daughters chose to, with their husbands and their kids, decided to go on the Viking tour. And then they decided to and one of them stayed with us to return with us back home. So that's a story why we don't travel alone. So that's another one here, same thing, I think. And then this is the entertainment portion. That they call these swirling dervish. Swirling dervish. He has a skirt made with lights, and as he spins, that skirt keeps opening up and becomes more like a, look at this, I mean, it's unbelievable, look at this. And this guy, he does not lose he's steady. If I turn around myself 2 times, I'll probably fall up on the floor. And look at this. Yeah, it's very nice. And then he decided he wants a bakshish. A bakshish is a tip in Arabic. He wants some money, so he took his thing that he from his head, put it on Yuget's head, and that means I have to tip him now. Okay, another one here. Now it's next stage. It's a belly dancer. The belly dancer dances like 5 minutes to 7 minutes, and she's sweating and she's wet. And then she goes and she changes and she comes back. So here's one. That's a different outfit. That's a third. That's the same outfit. And that's a fourth one. Now then she asks somebody from the audience. Can you? And the audience, she wants to come and learn how to dance with the belly dance. So she was showing her, and the girl here was willing to learn, I guess. And she's copying her, whatever she does, and all that stuff. Okay, so that was the first night when we arrived there. Usually, like they tell you, you never, when you fly a long flight, you don't go to bed because your time clock is off. So you have to keep as if we arrived there early in the morning, and then we try to stay busy. What we did, we went and we rented, because we were a family and I was expecting my kids one way or on the other way to be with us. So we rented a VRBO, through VRBO we rented a 3-bedroom, 3-bath apartment. Very secure, very nice. The only thing is, when they tell you they have a dryer, a clothes dryer, it's basically a rack that you hang your stuff on it and you put it in the balcony. They don't have a real clothes dryer. And when we asked them what is the coffee machine, they told us there is no coffee machine. There is a kettle, electric kettle. You boil your water, you buy a can of or a jar of Nescafe, and you put a spoon of it, and voila, you have your coffee. For us, the next day we asked Huguette's nephew, and he brought us a coffee machine, and we had the capsules, and we enjoyed our coffee. so it's different. The definition of a clothes dryer is basically a rack that you open up, you put it in the balcony, and you hang your clothes on it. A joke on the side. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but a joke on the side. You get one day she had a how do you call this? Some kind of
It's a mat where you put
a mat. She had a mat and she put on it the stuff that after she washes to hang to, so dry. So it was wet. So she figured she'd take that mat and hang it and put it on top of the clothes dryer in the balcony. The wind came in and took it away. It's gone. Who knows where? Anyway, okay. So the next day we hired, while we were there, we hired we had prepared in advance. We had a guide and a driver. You do not drive in Cairo, period. I mean, there is no traffic laws, and they kind of sometimes there is like 5 or 6 cars in a 4-lane highway. But there is a lot of money being spent on the infrastructure, and there is a lot of new highways and new places. Very nice, very, very nice. Okay, so the next day we decided to go to see the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum. That is the entrance, that's how you go in. And the next, oops, what did they do? Help! I don't know what they do. I pushed something wrong. Yes. We were at the Grand Egyptian, it was right here. Okay. Okay. So this is how you get in, you get your tickets, and then the next picture is, that's the entrance to the museum. The entrance to the museum is a little bit like the Louvre. If you remember, the Louvre gate there is a triangular thing, and that's exactly the same thing. It's a triangle there, and it looks like a triangle, and that's from far away, and then as we got closer, come on, behave. And then after that, once you get into the vestibule is a huge statue of Ramses, one of the pharaohs. I know there is a difference between a king and a pharaoh. Don't ask me, I'm not an Egyptologist, I cannot answer that. But that's what you see when you get in. And then the guy told us, let's go first to the boats. The boats it's a transportation, it's a barge, if you wish, that in the afterlife, the pharaohs believed that the soul traveled it's a solar boat. It travels to God. It travels to the god Ra, R-A, that's a god of the sun. And the soul travels there, so he has with him a place to stay on the boat and all that stuff. So she said, let's skip the gym now and go in the back to the boat museum. So walking there, we've seen I took a few pictures. Come on. Okay. That's a gift, obviously, a gift shop. I was trying to figure out where the gift shop is so I can take some pictures of it later on. And that's a few things that you see in the museum. We were walking now towards the back of the museum to visit the boat building. That's going out. And that's the boat building. It's in the back of the museum. It's again, I'm going to give you some, that's a papyrus. This is a plant that they use it to make papyrus, and they use that and they paint on it and stuff like this. That's the entrance to the boat building. That's again more decoration in the way to the boat building. That's a boat. The boat is, I have the dimensions here for the boat, which I had to research. The boat has some dimensions. It's huge. It's 3-story high. The boat is 3 stories high, and it has on it, like you see here, a box. That's where he lives in, or the soul lives in it, because that boat, although they found traces of water around the boat, which meant that it was used on the water at one time or another, the bottom line is that this boat here was not to travel on water, it was to travel in the air, in the space, going to the king, because the pharaohs were visiting the king Ra, and that's all. And that boat was found as is, intact, over 4,000 years ago. It was in a limestone pit that was completely intact, and it was sealed, and this is what you see. The wood is made of Lebanese cedar trees that they took very, very hard, and they did not use glue, they used rope made of some kind of a grass. I don't know what grass it is, but the grass, and they used it to make ropes, and they attached these things together with a rope. And they had oars, and they had things, and it's basically, it's not a funeral burial site, it's more of a traveling boat to go from one A to B. Okay, and so one of them was intact, the other one was disintegrated, and they had bits and pieces, and they put them together trying to rebuild it. But as you can see, it's pretty tall and long, and it's huge. They had one whole building for 2 boats, one completely intact, and the other one was halfway built, and it was disintegrated. They tried to rebuild it, remanufacture it, use parts to make things the same, but it was never finished. Where is it again? Okay. That's another picture of the boat. That's the second one. It's not, the pictures are not very clear in my mind, but this is how they think the second boat was. They reconstructed it from the bits and pieces they found, and they trying to manufacture other pieces to make things, to put them together. It was not complete and it was lost. So that's that you walk up and down. It's like 3-story. You walk up to see the whole board. I took some picture from under the board so you can see from under what you see. But it's unbelievable. 4,000 years and it's still there. And they found it quite a few years after. I mean, it's not... Okay, like one piece of trivia. Let's talk about the pyramids for a minute. Do you know the pyramids is one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world? Okay, the pyramid has 2 names. The first name is Cheops, and the other one is the pharaoh's name is Khufu, Khufu. So Khufu is a pharaonic name, and the European name is Cheops. And it's a big, big, big building. We'll see that later, but as a side issue. This is again the base of the boat. I'm trying to show you how this thing traveled. It held water, I guess. And this is the bits and pieces that they found. I'll show you the ropes. Okay, so this is made of grass, and they don't know how they did it. It's unlimited power. There is plenty of people there. Labor is, I guess the pharaohs had everybody working for him, so he had free labor. He could do anything he wants with it. But that's basically the bits and pieces they found over there. Some of the tools that were used to reconstruct the boat. Remember now, the boat was in a pit in the middle of the desert, and to move it out, they had to disassemble it. This boat had 1,220 pieces, and they tore it apart and put it together. Exactly the same thing. I mean, how could you move it? It's in a pit. It's buried down into the limestone, and it's the only reason it was discovered because when it was discovered, there was no air that got in there. It was completely sealed. Look at that huge boat, big hole in the ground. They dug into the limestone, into the mountain, a place for the boat, and there was 2 holes. One of them was leaked, and the air went in and damaged it, destroyed it, and the other one was completely sealed. Some of the cameras and pictures that they took to do this. You get here, it's showing off now. Okay, now we are back into the gym. The gym is basically an 8-story high building. It has, if you can visually divide it longitudinally into 3 segments, and the King Tut's treasures are on the 8th floor in the middle section on the very top. They have, for handicap, they have very nice trams or something that goes into on tracks and travels up, and you stop at any floor you want to. They have escalators that takes you all the way to any floor you want. They don't have elevators, and they have stairs. So stairs, escalators, and this big, like a bus that you can put in people with wheelchairs, and it goes like a little bit like the hotel at Luxor at Las Vegas, where you go, you climb, and you don't climb up, you climb on an angle, and you keep going up. Something like this, you know, you climb up, but you climb up while you're moving, and it moves up. Okay, so that's a big vestibule. You can see the crossovers between the different pavilions, between the different sections. There's like 9 big sections, or 9 big halls, or 9 big exhibition areas. Something like this. Okay, this is where you can see the escalators, the stairs, and between the 2 sides here, you can see where they have these boxes where people in wheelchair. So I used my wheelchair, as somebody was pushing me around in there because it's convenient. You get the first dibs. It's like at the Vatican. Anywhere you go, when you have it to go, if you use a wheelchair, they move you. And they take care of you, and you see, and you're in first. You can see. So I'm not saying nothing. just in case. Okay, and obviously they have a lot of columns and stones and stuff and hieroglyphs and I don't know what that means, but they look good, so I took some pictures. Okay, so here we go. A bunch of pictures, a bunch of jackals and I don't know, wolves or something, stuff. The pièce de résistance, I'm getting now into it, is the King Tut's sarcophage, or if you wish to call it, the burial space. I don't know if you guys know about the Matushka doll. Matushka doll is like a doll where it nested, there is like 8 or 9 nested figurines into each one. Well, guess what? King Tut's was the same. The first 4 were rectangular boxes, gold-plated maybe gold, pure, you cannot touch. They're behind plexiglass glass and you can touch them. And then after that they have the clamshells, 4 clamshells, and in each one of them there is a smaller one and a smaller one and a smaller one, until the body, he was a kid, right? He was 14 years old. So King Tut was a very, very, very small, fat king. So his body was very small, and that's how it is. And you'd find that everything is under a big, ornate throne, I guess. So here we go. Okay, this is that's what this was explaining. The number 11, that's where King Tut's goodies are. Everything else we did not see, because we only had 4 hours to see the whole thing. If you want to see the whole thing, you have to spend a few days, go back and go back and go back. Nobody does that. It's only 4 hours. So we went to number 11, and that's what you would see. A harp player made of alabaster. I thought that was nice, so I took a picture of that. Bunch of stuff, I don't know what that is. Neither do this. Okay, now this is fun. This is the chariots. They buried his chariots when he goes to war. He rides in a chariot. It's a little bit, I thought it was Roman. But that's from the pharaohs, way before the Roman Empire, way before that. So here it is, and they had some plastic stuff, and they show you how it looked like. So I figured 4,000 years ago, they knew that a wheel is better than a square or a hexagon or pentagon or whatever it is. It's more sides. So it's a round wheel. So they had wheels that are round. They had, I'll show you another picture. These are what? These are bows and arrows. That's a bow. They use bows to hunt with, okay, or to kill or to fight or to whatever. And they're real stuff, 4,000 years old. Okay, so that's one of them here. Here is another one where they had a rendition to show you in plastic the horses and all that stuff, so you can visualize a little bit how they are mounted, where their legs would be, where I thought that would give me a better rendition of what a chariot was. Now, obviously they had clothes. And they had stuff to put in. So where they put their where? So they had boxes. Like right now we have the same stuff. We put stuff in, right? Here's another one, but now this one here is in gold. This is real pure gold, folks. And enjoy it. This is a really nice picture. You get a piece of trivia for the Australian people that are here, maybe. These are boomerangs. They use them to hunt birds with them. I don't know how good they were to hit a bird flying and then returning to him, or he had people running after them to bring them back. But they were boomerangs. Now, it makes sense. Well, at the beginning I was not sure what are all these little goblets, jars, little things. But when you think about it, you can put, in the big ones you can put water, to wash your feet. You can use oil to store oil. You can use it for perfume if they are very small. You can use them for mascara or for any kind of, for women to paint it, whatever, you know, to do things. I don't know. You asked me too much. I don't know. But they had fancy and they decorated them very fancy. Look at this, it's like a chair where they have this goblet or this jar or this thing that probably has perfumes or God knows what. It's very nice. It's very nice. They light, the little lights there, they put oil and they have to get light at night, I guess. Look at this. I mean, it's really, 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 really nice. And it's all original stuff found in a tomb. Look at this piece. He drinks from it, I guess. Well, unless somebody knows what it would be, but decorated like, you're going to show you now some, look at this, closer look. They had chairs. I thought they had no chair, they sat on the floor. Ah, look at this, he has a chair. A little Ottoman chair for a baby chair. And this is a big chair, made of straw, I guess, or whatever, I don't know. Huh? 4,000-year-old. Look at this, it's a little table. Look at the legs, different. Yeah. Decorated and very nice looking. Figure that's... they used a lot of leather too. They had these crocodiles over there in the Nile and they used crocodile and leather and pieces and stuff. I don't know, maybe where they put the coins and the money in that bag there maybe. I know the Bible said they used to put their money or their coins in it. Because I remember Judas got the bag and I saw he threw the bag on the floor on his way out because he didn't want to return the money and they didn't want to take it back from him. Anyway, amulets and rings and all kind of beautiful things you find there. They found them in the tomb. More storage boxes and stuff like this. This is like when you write a letter and you want to put a stamp on it. You stamp it so it becomes official. I don't know what that is. This is a bunch of little figurines. Maybe the kids will play with it or something. I have no idea. But it looks a lot of them. Now, this is what we said about King Tut's stuff. That's the outside box. That's the outside box of the sarcophage, which is the burial place where his body was in. That's a big one. That's the biggest of the big. Okay? And it has a top on the top. You can see the top here. Now, the next one is a different, it's also, I think it's all gold plated, or I could not touch. I don't know if it's pure gold or not, but I know the last one will be. Here's another one. You see there are different designs and different things. This one here, as you can see, it has a top and it has a side. I have a picture for you from the inside. That's the inside of the third box. That's the inside of, all of this was protected and was there in that, well, in the, wherever they find the King Tut stuff. Oops, what did I do? Come on. Okay, that's the last fourth box. Now this is gold for sure, I would say. You can tell the designs are totally different. It's very nice. And you have to, you know, I don't know. It's nice, it's very nice. Now, inside that box were what I call them the clamshells. This is the first one. Again, you know, it's smaller, it has to fit into the other boxes. So we had 4 boxes, then you have 4 clamshells. 3 clamshells and then the body. Okay. So this is, they always have their hands crossed and, I don't know, whatever. That's another one. That's the third one. You can tell they're getting smaller and they're different designs and different things. And sorry?
That's very cool.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, it's probably precious stones or God. I really, you walk in and the woman said, come on, let's walk. And so because we have a guide, right? And you want to do all of this stuff in 4 hours, and then you have to go to see the pyramids and the complex of the pyramids and the Sphinx and ride the camels, and that's another half a day. And in between you have to eat also. So it's a long day. Okay, this is now on top of that little thing there. There is this. I don't know if it's jackal. Okay, it's made of black and it's beautiful stone and it's really nice. So it's all, again, as you can see from the bottom, it's all gold. And now in front of all of that stuff, you can see, because now it's getting narrower, you can see that there are people on either side of the plexiglass. So when I took my picture, this woman there was there, so I had to take her too. I can't wait. Somebody else will show up. And this is the dome where the big ones was. That's like the throne, if you wish, of where that covered the whole shebang. That one thing. Shebang, maybe it's not the right word for it. Oops. Oh, what did I do wrong here? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, okay, here we go. And that's after this one. I have to take this off, excuse me. Okay, they had alabaster, 4 of them in a box, and they're the guardians to keep the good, the evil spirits away from the room there. I don't know what that means. I never really understood it. But they show you up there 4 samples of the different clamshells that I showed you earlier, 1 into 1 into 1 into 1. These are the 4 pieces on the very top there. And then on the bottom they had the 4 clamshells made of alabasters, and these people are standing there like guards to protect something. I don't know. Now this is pure, absolute, pure gold. And that's the best picture. I could not wait long enough to get people to clear it up, but you could not. This is this is what came to the Metropolitan in New York City 20-some years ago when they bought the King Tut's goodies. This piece was there. Now, you know what these people are looking for? I'm going to show you now. They are on the 8th floor, and there is a big windows. And from the window, they can see the 3 pyramids. So from there, they are looking down into the plain there, and here we go. That's a picture that these kids were watching from there. And I don't know if you can see the pyramids. It's kind of foggy a little bit. There is one hidden, one in the middle, and one on the other side. Yeah, it's a view. I'll show you the pyramids closer now. Here's 2. I tried to move a little bit to make some room for. Come on. Now on our way back. Now we are going back downstairs, but now again we are using the this. I don't know how they call it. It's not an elevator. It's not. It's an escalator, but it's not an escalator. It's something that moves always flat, but moves down and moves up. So it keeps going down. So there is many views. I thought there were the blind, the one cannot see, the one cannot hear, the one cannot talk, but that's not it. I don't know what that is, but for me that would remind me of a bunch of stuff. Now, okay, we have finished with the 8, with the gym, 4 hours. And that's to see the gym, to see basically King Tut's, to see the boat house where he has his 2 boats, and basically now he wants to go and eat. He said, oh yeah, we'll take you to some place where you can eat, near the pyramids. So we are driving, and he's taking us there. That's my daughter, Marianne, my granddaughter, Kayla, Marianne again, Marianne. Now they are going to the Sphinx and to the, it's called the Pyramids Complex. It's a network of streets, and people go in there to see the pyramids. If you have the courage to go inside the Khufu or the Cheops pyramids, I suggest none of this August clientele or customers or residents here should go there. It's very narrow, the air circulation is not very good, and you feel like you are entombed, and you cannot change your mind. Once you go in, you only halfway through you can turn around and go back, but you have to go at least a distance before you change your mind. You're not allowed to change your mind. So the kids did it, we did not. You get an eye, we said, forget about this. It's not for us. The pyramids, Pete and Peter, my son-in-law, and my daughter, the two pyramids. Let's talk about the pyramids a little bit. You know, the pyramids are made of limestone, okay? There was a quarry in the desert. Okay, I'm talking about the Western Desert. The Western Desert is a desert between the Nile and Libya or Chad. That's a country that's on the bottom there. So they cut it, and people say, well, how did they move these big blocks from wherever the quarry is, where they cut it, to there? I don't know. Nobody can tell you exactly. That some people say they had big belly goats, rubber, leather thing where they put air in them and they floated on the water, but you have to have a canal of water to take them around. Some other people say they built sand all around the base, and then they keep building the sand, and people were pushing them up. How you could move up? It's not been defined yet, and nobody has yet a good answer for how the pyramid was built. Camels, obviously, $100. Everything is $100. If you want a camel, you pay $100. If you want to ride on the camel. Yeah, no pictures. If you have to ride, you have to give them $100. And these people know. They don't deal with Egyptian money, because the Egyptian money is not 50 Egyptian pounds is $1. So nobody carries 50,000 or for $100, 5,000 Egyptian. I don't know how much. What's $100 times 50? That would be 5,000, right? Nobody carries 5,000 Egyptian pounds in their pocket, because that's the biggest denomination is 200 Egyptian pounds. So you need like 5 times 5, 25 of them. That's too much. Okay, this is a close-up to the pyramid. Look how big these blocks are. It's big. And at one time in my youth, I remember we used to pay a kid, I used to climb all the way up from the bottom to the top and come back in less than 10 minutes. And if he does that, you give him some money. That's the 3 kids, selfie, whatever. The 3 pyramids from a long distance. And now we are going for lunch. It's on the way to lunch, basically. And this is how it is. You have these umbrellas, tables, and if you look in the background, you see the pyramids. There is the 3 of them. This is we are eating. The guy on the right-hand side is the driver. The woman there is our guide. You get an eye, and then the 3 kids, and the grandkids. And you eat there, it's always pita bread and falafel and meat, ground beef, hamburgers. Let me see if you can see something. You can drink beer. Beer is allowed. I mean, because we are foreigners, we are allowed. It was Ramadan, and in Ramadan you don't drink no alcoholic beverages, but because this is a touristic area, this is no more, it's Egypt, but it's Egypt for the tourists. Huh? So we were allowed to have beer and fries and meat. As you can see, these containers have on the bottom some charcoal, and then there is the meat, whatever the meat is, on top to keep it warm. Okay, that's us. That's Pete and Marianne. Okay, yes. We've seen all of this already. I keep messing. No, I'm going forward. You get, but okay. Now the camels. Now the kids went on the camels. Okay, so we talked to the guy. The guy came in. This guy here, he seems very American, kind of like, you know. He speaks English very well, by the way. Marianne on a camel, and you can see the head of the other camel. That's Kayla is on the other camel. And here are a bunch of camels ready to be, people are riding them or God knows what. Here are the two girls on the camels. The three, they're taking pictures, and here they're acting up a little bit because you have to take a picture, and the two camels here are kissing or God knows what. They're happy camels. See, the camel is, and you are talking about you are at least, I want to say what, 8, 9 feet, 10 feet off the ground. I mean, you know, don't, and when the camel moves, he moves up and back and up and back. It's not standard motion that you, yeah, it's different. It's, you have to, and here, obviously, the guy knows exactly where to put her so he can put her finger on the top of the pyramids. And she's acting up now, obviously. They're happy, very happy. Here are a bunch of tourists that have decided all to ride a camel. And so here they are. Kayla is showing up. Here's the owner of the camel, the one that said $100, $100. Okay, you get your $100. Okay, and that was the end of it, and we returned home. It was a Friday, and on Saturday, it was Thursday. On Friday, we decided to go to Alexandria. I went to French parochial schools all my life. So I figured I want to go and see the school where I went to school. And you get taught Montessori later on for the pre-K and K. This school will take you from 4 years old and you stay there until you're 18, and then you get. And they are French brothers. It's called Collège Saint-Marc. They speak French. And obviously you learn a little bit of Arabic and English as a second language, but French is the primary language. And that's the entrance of the school. It has a cupola on the top. They have a telescope, you can see the stars. And they have a big chapel. And because it's a Catholic school, you have Mass every day. And confession every Thursday. There is no choice. The Muslim kids, they bring an imam who teaches them the Quran. Okay, there was not too many Jewish people. If they were, I don't know what. I don't think we had a rabbi or nothing like that. I don't remember. Anyway, so that's a school. It's a huge complex. It takes right now 2,000 students, and we went there. There's a bunch of pictures. Now we are going up the ladders. Yours truly is now getting tired from too much walking. That's a vestibule of the church, of the school. It's a huge vestibule, and if you look closely, in the middle of the picture, on the back side of the door, that's the founder of the Christian Brothers. And again, I have a better picture of him. That's him. He's Saint Jean-Baptiste de La Salle. Saint Jean-Baptiste de La Salle is a founder of the school, and all the brothers were coming from France. Okay? And it's... So here we are entering the chapel. This is a chapel that takes a lot of kids. It's more like a cathedral here, you'll see. This is the chapel. That's where Mass is celebrated every day for all these kids, and it has a second level on the top of what the organ is and all the people. Windows, stained glass windows on the sides. More stained glass windows. We are moving towards the central nave there, towards the altar. Oops, what did I do? I don't know. Okay, maybe I went. Okay, here we go. The second window, that's the nave going in towards the altar. That's now going back with the organ pipes in the back there. Very old. It's an old school. It was built in the early 20s, 1920s. You have to separate now between 19 and 20. This is the four apostles along the windows there, and Jesus in the middle here. That's the altar, pretty ornate. That's the altar. That's another picture of the altar facing. Now, these are the classrooms. The classrooms were basically wooden tables, like you see this, two for a class, and that's a classroom. And there is tons of these classrooms everywhere. Yeah, there's 3 levels. So it's big. And now they have, I don't remember seeing these white chalk boards now that you can copy and use like. And that was to be the old ones. These are the new, fresh ones. That's the aisles. The aisles, it's still, I remember the tiles on the floor, this ladder, the stairs to go up. And look how tall, how deep it is. I mean, it's pretty deep. And then there is more of that. The inner court, I remember there used to be like maybe 15 to 20 basketball courts between one and the other. And now with these trees, I don't know how they do it. Probably there is no more basketball courts. I know that the kids used to play soccer sometimes, and they put these metal things alongside because the ball used to come through the inner court hit the glass or hit through the hallway and hits the doors of the classrooms. This is it. This is my high school, and I stick by it. Oops. Come on. I'm not very good at that. Okay, that's the inner court. They had plenty of inner court, and you can tell when I was there was no such high-rise buildings like they are now. They're all over. They're overlooking they're going heights, and they're overlooking the school. Okay, so here I am. That's the inner school. Now, that's a little yard for the Montessori and for the pre-K and the K kids. They had a little garden there and a little yard, and I don't remember it this way, but that's where the kids used to go, and there is a yard there for them to play. That's her ground. She knows this place inside out. And I noticed that they were painting the floor. I don't know why. It used to be probably to keep the inside clean. But the grounds are painted. The floor is painted. That's the yard. And I don't know why, but I didn't ask. And that's, again, you go up and down, and it's too much. Keep going up and down, and it's a lot of work, yeah. More school, more classes. I'm acting up again. Now I'm going to take you, this is from the inner yard looking at the cupola, and by the way, the building on the right hand side, that's a chapel. That's a chapel from the outside. Okay? Now they have a chemistry lab and a physics lab, and they have all kind of geology and chemistry. This was a pretty good, I don't know what all these things are, but you can tell they have, if you want to read, I don't know if you can tell what this is, but jars of this and jars of that, and this sounds like a geography of God knows what, who knows. This is, again, I don't know what that is. More, anyway, that's the chapel from the outside. From the side of that's through the arches. They have arches everywhere. Anyway, okay, now you're back into the vestibule. This picture here is in the vestibule when the trophy case where if you win a tournament or something, they put you some trophies there. This is the salon. The salon is where the dignitaries used to come and visit. When they are visiting, they open the salon, and that's how it used to look like. That's a vestibule on our way out. That's going out now, and that's leaving the place. And now, we try to go and see the house where Huguette lived. And if I tell you, Huguette used to live in a 2 stories building. There is no 2-story buildings, as you can see now. The building is now like, where she lives is the one in the yellow there, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories. 7 there. And she was on the first one. And there is a road you can barely see because the 2 buildings are so close to each other. Right on the far right of the picture, there is a road there, and that's where you walk in. And there are cars on the left and cars on the right, and cars in the middle, and if there is more than 2 cars in the middle of the road, you're in trouble. Now, what that ditch in the front there, that used to be where they had a tram to travel from downtown Alexandria to the suburbs. Right now they are building an underground subway, so it's ditch until they finish it. They're digging and putting infrastructure underground. Then I figured, gee, I want to go and see my house. I tried and tried and tried, could not see the streets that I remembered, and we got lost, and we decided, okay, that's it, let's go and check in now. So we went to check in. It's an old hotel called the Cecil. The Cecil is a Baroque architecture. It's right on the water, on the Mediterranean Sea in Alexandria. And all the rooms have names based upon the prominent people that lived in there. So we, Huguette and I, we had the Cecil DeMille room. The Cecil DeMille room is the one that has, he's a producer of the 10 Commandments. So, and then the kids, one of the kids had Agatha Christie, and then they saw a room called Muhammad Ali, and they saw a room called Mountbatten. They call it Monty. Well, Monty is Lord Mountbatten. He was the British general that beat Rommel at Al Alamein. So they called a room for him, but they call it Monty. I said, who is Monty? What's Mountbatten? Okay, now I know. This is the view from the hotel. That's the Bay of Alexandria. We went for it. When you go to Alexandria, you eat fish. Always you eat fish, and this is the fish. You select the fish you want, and then you select the big shrimps, and you sit down and you enjoy. This is. We were eating at a place called the Club Nautique Hellénique d'Alexandrie, the yacht club. It's a Greek yacht club. It's for the Greek people that live there. I'm running out of time. I don't know. And that's Mr. DeMille. This is room, it's very Victorian style. That's in the lobby. Now, and then we went to sleep. After dinner, we went to sleep. The next morning, we got up and we had two museums to see. The first one, the Greco-Roman Museum in Alexandria. Again, Greco-Roman means Greek and Roman together. And it was all found into the ground in Alexandria while they were building things. So this is a statue. This is the head of somebody. Don't ask who it is. Just look at the pictures. I'm gonna go fast. This is like, I don't know. He has no arms. He has his legs though. Some other guys have no arms. No, this guy has no arms either. This one has no arm. Yeah, okay. So that was the Greco-Roman Museum. It's a 2-hour thing, and then after that we decided, well, it's time to go and see the Library Museum. The Library Museum is, I thought it was the museum, the Cairo, but this museum was, the library, the Alexandria Museum was destroyed, right? It was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. So we went to see the new ones, and this is a picture of Anwar Sadat. Anwar Sadat is, he was killed, assassinated, because he was the first one that went to Camp David and had a meeting with President Carter and Menachem Begin. And he was the first one to have peace in the Middle East. I mean, he was trying to get the peace going on, and that's what he did. And he was assassinated for that. And the story that's came out in front of there. The next day, and then we drove back home. And the next day, Huguette and I decided to stay at home, and the kids went to see the old Cairo, the Citadel, and then to see the old Christian Coptic churches. So I'm going to quickly go through them. That's a Citadel. That's a Citadel. That's where you wash your feet before you pray. That's the inside of the Citadel of the mosque. That's another picture of the mosque. That's the third picture of the mosque. Mosque, mosque, mosque. And again, back again where you have to, when you pray in the Muslim religion, you have to cleanse yourself. Okay, now this is, again, Muhammad Ali, who Citadel is named for, is an Ottoman governor. He was an Ottoman military man. He was the guy who really governed Egypt for a long time. And, oops, come on. Okay. This is, again, it's a rendition of Jesus leaving and returning to Israel. I don't know how good it is, but that's the picture we saw over there. Some of the walkways. This is the inside of a Coptic church. It's a very famous church called St. Sergius, S-E-R-G-I-U-S, St. Sergius Coptic Church. If you go there, it's worth going there. It's very pretty. I called my son out of Egypt, and he was, that's the rendition of the artist. Again, that's another church that's an old church in Cairo. Some paintings. Okay, that's it. And we came back home, and that was the end of it. And then we went to visit Huguette's nephew. And now from here on, it's going to be a bunch of pictures, family pictures, so I'm going to go fast. This is Huguette and her sister. This is a bunch. We went to the Red Sea for one day. So these are the pictures. They have a little house, a condo on the Red Sea. This is the water of the Red Sea. Pete enjoying the sun. Marianne and Kayla, Kareem and Sally on the beach there. We we love this place. It's a little restaurant, it's a garden restaurant where you eat. It's very European, very clean, very good. It's called Carlos. Carlos. Carlos has a little car, a convertible car on the outside there. He has flowers. He has, you can eat there. They have beer and stuff because it's European. That's a dish of scarabs. And you know, scarabs are basically, they provide, what they provide? They provide good luck. So people buy them for good luck. Okay, and the guy is really smart. He bought a bunch of them, probably, or painted them or whatever, and put them in there as decoration. It's in the restaurant. One day they told us, well, you cannot go to Egypt without immersing yourself with the food. You have to eat the Egyptian food. So there is a place that makes, like here, it's a breakfast place, a brunch place. So you go in first, you eat your breakfast, and this is because Ramadan or whatever, and then they bring you this. This is, how do you call this again? Fatire. It's called fatire. Fitira. Fitira means it's like the stuff that you use for baklava, the same material, huh? But inside there is sweet cheese. And then you put on top of it, you put either fresh cream or molasses or honey or anything sweet that you put on top of it. And believe me, this by itself is enough to feed you. One piece. It's thick like this. Okay? And you push this down with the coffee or tea. Hot tea is very good. Okay? So that's a very typical breakfast. There is another typical meal in Egypt called, let's see if I remember the name. What's the name of that? Koshari. Koshari, K-O-S-H-A-R-Y. Koshari is basically a meal of macaroni, boiled macaroni, cooked macaroni, lentils, rice. It's a vegan, and they put on it fried onions. If you want to put some chickpeas, and you cover this whole up with a sauce that is spicy and red. Sometimes they put tomato sauce, sometimes they put some spicy stuff. And that's the food. In the past, when I used to live there, it used to be called, the main dish was fool and eggs. You buy a plate of fool, and you put a boiled eggs or a fried eggs or whatever you like on it, and that was your sandwich. Now, it's more of this food, because this food is, the protein is the lentils, and there is nothing else. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few pictures quickly. Okay, this is a picture from the beach where a boat is transiting going towards Suez. It was going that way. We were 10 kilometers south of Suez. So you go in Suez to get into the Suez Canal. We are going very fast now. This is the second group. When they came to Cairo, we took them out to dinner one day because they were Vikings. They had 3 nights out. And because after that they were going on the plane to go to Luxor, to go to Upper Egypt, to go there. But meanwhile, that's the entrance of Karim's house. This is his house. This is his house. The kids were there, so they were trying, wanted to, since all the kids were here to celebrate my birthday, it was February 28th, so this is February 23rd, but they celebrated my birthday early while the kids were home, so she catered it, and they come in and they bring their stuff and the food, and this is the whole family, my kids, Audrey and Ernie, and then Karim and Sally, his son, Jeff and Chris. They're here all the time. You've probably seen them already. The one in white here is White. That's the fiancé of, I guess, Andrew, and then the daughter of Karim and Sally is the one in white top and black pants, and then Chloe was getting married with her fiancé in December this year. So that's a family that came in the second group. We are running out of time. The lady in yellow and black, that's Huguette's first cousin. She is the one that invited us one day to go. This is her house. Look at, I'm going to show you a little bit of the food that you eat over there. If you look between the pots there, these are stuffed pigeons. Okay, stuffed pigeons. It's all bones. There's no meat there except the chest, and you have to go and look for the chest, and you have to eat it with your fork and a knife, trying to figure out how you can get a piece of meat microscopically small from a pigeon. Okay, so I'm gonna skip that, that's enough, that's a joke of it, folks. Okay, this is the enter, so she invited us to her farm. She has a beautiful, Huguette's cousin, first cousin, the two brothers were, the two fathers were brothers. So that's the entrance to the farm. It's really huge. This is the vestibule. It's like a hacienda. It's like a Texas place. Okay. They have turtles. Nothing that dies over there gets thrown away. They use it they mummify it. They do it with taxidermists and they fix it. So you'll see in the center there, I don't know what that thing standing up is, but I know all of it is a gazelle and a couple of turtles and whatever. And they have aviaries, and they have all kind of stuff. They have ostriches. Okay, remember, they are building, okay, this lady is so rich that she uses, she has a factory that makes pharmaceuticals under licensing. And she has another factory that makes cosmetics and stuff like this, under licensing. And she uses, she has homes for battered women, she has homes for people that are on drugs. She has a school in the factory for every person that has children. If they want to bring them in, especially if they're babies or infants, they take care of them. So she is so the government leaves her alone. They never touch her. She doesn't. So she's building a zoo, and obviously, I am sure, for their own usage, but they will also use it for the kids that are at the school, because on the Mazraa means their farm. They have 400 employees there to work the farm. So they bring their kids. These women, if they work there, they're allowed to bring their kids that go to school, and they're taken care of health-wise and everything else. So I think this is a llama. Okay, a white one, a brown one, some gazelles, some llamas again. These are foxes. You see, the foxes go into some kind of these terrans or turtles. I said, how do you feed them? He said, we tell the guy to go and plant some lettuce. And he brings lettuce. And he said, what do you do with all the lettuce? He said, well, some for the turtles, some for the rabbits, some for the chickens, some I don't know what for what. And it's everywhere. You know what this is? It's an ostrich egg. 1.5 kilos. It's heavy. And they use it once to make an omelet. And they fed, I don't know how many people. They have birds, they have whatever, plants, whatever. They have olive trees everywhere, donkeys. We know what a donkey is. Over there in the United States, you don't know what a donkey is. They don't see a donkey. You have to go and touch it or show them. They have a black camel. Black camel, that's a rarity. They have swine and pigs and babies. A side story on that. One day we were there at the farm, and she tells the guy, go get me 2 piglets. The guy comes in with one, and he knew that we were a little bit more than one, so he bought a bigger one. He brings 2 of them. She looks at them, she said, this one. 2 hours later, we get a big piglet like this, clean, ready to be put in the oven, and that's it. I mean, the rest is history, I guess. Look at this guy. This is how they climb to pollinate the trees. They take, okay, I'm sorry guys, I passed my time. This is a hacienda again. This is dogs, obviously they have dogs, and they have this, and they have that, and that's the place where we sleep. Everybody gets a room with a bathroom, and it's an apartment. It's like there's 10 or 15 apartments over there. That's at the, and the pool. Antlers, they collect the antlers. That's a view from the room inside. And, oh, the cows. Look at the cows. Look at the cows. These are the baby cows. This is very baby. And this is the gator or crocodile, the skin of it. And that concludes my presentation.
I've never been to Egypt. I've never been to Egypt. It's on my list to go. It's on my list, but I haven't been there. 30 years. Oh, that's such a short trip. Yeah, I can go to Israel. We gotta go to Jordan or one of those areas. Israel. I haven't been there. One day. I gotta go get my daughter.
I'm either stand up or sit down. Don't go both.